Hey, Pastor Ray Barnett here with you. Glad that you could be with me here on the Oasis. And as always, I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you are watching this broadcast. Today is January the 25th. And we're having some snow coming down right now. It's a Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. And I've already canceled the Bible study because the snow is supposed to get heavy right about the time that we would be in the Bible study, so that's put off. But hey, it's January the 25th, so our winter hasn't been all that bad so far. All right, each day I remind you, for those of you who haven't already done this, go to the website, download this, the 12 Principles of Renewed. Now, obviously, it's not going to come out laminated like this one is here, but you go to Time for Truth, truth.com, and go to the tab. This is mental health, and then under mental health, scroll down and you'll see the 12 Principles of Renewed, and print that off, because that's what we're using for the study this year in 2023. All right, so I have in front of me, as you saw, the 12 principles that I came up with some years back. And as I mentioned, these are not 12 steps where we have to go 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. They're 12 principles. So I will, with you, do what I did with the class that I had some years ago when I was teaching from this sheet, which is just go back and forth as I feel prompted or led. So today I'm reading principle number 10, which says, Christ is my counselor. Now you could put in there the word physician. Christ is my counselor, and I must never question his authority. So the verse that I have written is 1 Thessalonians 2:13 rather. For this cause also thank we God without ceasing, because when ye received the word of God, now listen, when ye received the word of God, which ye heard of us, ye received it not as the word of men, but as it is in truth the word of God, which effectually worketh also in you that believe. This is a very important verse. The Apostle Paul is saying that, we were the ones that spoke to you, but we did not speak to you on our own. It was the words of God. Now, on my other broadcast on Facebook, we have an hour-long daily Bible study, and we're studying the life of Christ from the book of Matthew. And I did share on one of those broadcasts about the inspiration of the Bible. Hundreds upon hundreds of times, the Bible declares, the Lord spake, God spake, the Lord said, God said, thus saith the Lord. That's used over 400 times, that expression alone, thus saith the Lord. And then you just keep going on with these little expressions, which in the end declares that man did not write the Bible. I mean, man physically wrote it with his pen, but it was God's words given to those men, about 40. That's what this is saying here. The Apostle Paul is saying, well, yeah, we spoke to you, but you received it as it is, the words of God. So, for your anxieties and your depressions and all that, Christ is my counselor, and I must never question his authority. Now, I'm not here, this is a brief broadcast. As you know, I try to keep it brief so it's watchable and doable. And I count on you being with me as much as possible, that these broadcasts add up so you have a lot of information. But I don't try to do it as I do the Bible study, an hour every day. This is, 10, 11 minutes. So what I want to share with you is that it's really critical that you accept the Bible as the Word of God, for which it claims that that's what it is. For me, 45 years in ministry, I have no doubts, none. and I am a thinker. And if it wasn't the Word of God, in my view, I would reject it. Just do something else. Thankfully, that's not the case. But when you go to a doctor that you have freely selected, it is to be understood that you're going to, take their advice. They say you need surgery, you need an operation, or a pill, or whatever. And you're going to take their advice. But sometimes you say, well, I don't know, I'm not sure about this, and you get a second opinion, which is fine. I've told you to do that here. You're not happy with the diagnosis that you got, you get a second one. A third if necessary. But if you already know that you have nervous symptoms of anxiety and depression and panic attacks and all those things that go with mental health, and as a Christian, then you must not question the authority of Jesus. Jesus is the healer of our soul, and he's also the healer of our body. I just got finished teaching on that just a few minutes ago on Facebook, which you could always go over to Facebook. My page is public. Put my name in, and you can watch the teachings if you want. But it's critical that you don't question what you read in the Bible, but excuse me, specifically what is pertaining to your deliverance from your symptoms. You know what? It doesn't matter what the diagnosis in your life is, because this book that I just read, this verse about being the Word of God, says that with God, nothing is impossible. Yeah, the doctors don't always have answers, and you can read textbook after textbook after textbook and say, on this case, for this disorder, there is no cure. No, not for men. But for God, there's a cure. Don't let anyone convince you that there is not an answer for your anxiety, your panic, your depression, and so on and so forth. Don't let anybody try to convince you that there's not a cure. God is the cure. Always work with your counselor, always work with your physicians while you're listening to me or watching these broadcasts. But in the end, we must not question the authority of Christ and who he is. Again, I said counselor here on the sheet, but let's call him our great physician, our great doctor, that can touch you and in ways that you never dreamed. You know that one of my favorite verses, you who have been with me for some time, Psalm 34:4, I sought the Lord, and he heard me and delivered me from all my fears. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God hath not given unto us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. Jesus said, peace I leave with you. John 14:27. And it just goes on and on. Fear not, for I am with thee, in Genesis 18:1, when God was speaking to Abraham. And the Bible's filled with statements like that for you. So you say, it can't be that simple. And I will say in return, it is that simple. It's just, as I always remind you, not that easy. Not easy to overcome habits of thinking and habits your body is built up, or what you may have some type of organic issue that causes you some distress. Now, of course, that's going to be a tough row to hoe, but it can be done. I've seen it done in the people that I've worked with, and maybe one day I'll bring them on and have them share a little testimony of what happened in their life when they applied the principles of Scripture. So that's my exhortation. Make sure you're reading the Bible from cover to cover. 3 chapters a day will do it every year. In your times of distress and trouble, read through the Psalms. I mean, everybody goes to the Psalms. They're just great. Get a pocket promise book, where God makes promises, Christ makes promises, the apostles write exhortations and principles, so that you can concentrate on those verses and apply them to yourself. Christ is your counselor. He's your physician. And you cannot question his authority if you want to get well. And I'm going to pray for you to get well. In Jesus' name. So, Father, I pray for my friends today, and I ask you to help them to beat their distress and depressions and anxieties and panic attacks and all their somatic symptoms as well as their psychological symptoms. Just help them today, Father, and deliver them from all their distresses. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. All right, so make sure you download this sheet from timefortruth.com, and we're going to be using it. And what I want you to do is to review this. I know people who have it in their cars and stuff. They just read it through, they read it through, they read it through, and it brings great comfort to them. And they don't watch this broadcast. They just took the sheets. Someone that lives in Florida actually made these laminated ones for me. I had quite a few of them and put them on a table, and they all went. So download it, timefortruth.com, F-O-R.com, and download the sheet, 12 Principles of Renewed, and then read them, practice them, memorize the scriptures, and pray. All right. God willing, I'll be with you here again tomorrow. And by the way, since we have such a small subscribership, great opportunity to subscribe, hit the notification button. I try to do one of these broadcasts every day, as most of you know. And so you'll know when a video has gone up. And by the way, if you leave a little comment, like a thumbs up or anything, that really helps this broadcast to circulate according to the way YouTube has things automated with the bots and so forth. So but it wouldn't hurt to give me a thumbs up on the thing or a little comment, just so we can get the message out. I can get the message out on these things to other people. And don't forget to share them too, okay? Please share them. All right. That all being said, I hope to be with you tomorrow, God willing. And always remember that no matter what is going on in your life, make sure that the peace of Christ rules in your heart. God bless you. I'll see you again tomorrow, right here on the Oasis.